guys, I kind of just wanted to talk about the meet and greet and the concert that I went to, the Marianne Trent Show, October 29th, 2012. I got to meet my heroes again. I met Matt and Ian 3 times, but meeting Josh, it was my second. So I just kind of want to just tell you what all went on so you guys get a feel for it. I was very, very fortunate to have met my all-time favorite band in the world. They're the sweetest guys. They're just the most amazing. So I come there on time, and Kevy's outside meeting fans, and that's really cool, but I decided to not freeze my butt off, so I waited in my dad's car till my friend showed up. She didn't come after like 3 o'clock, and the meet and greet was like 3:15, so I left school early. And I had to visit my grandma in the hospital. She was sick and near death. But she's doing better now. So I go from the hospital to the concert. And from there, I sit in the car with my dad and wait until I have to go in. So I go in like maybe 3 o'clock. I just had to tell my friend, screw it. She's not going to come. She doesn't have to. I'm not going to wait for her. So I meet this awesome friend. Her name's Justine, and if you're watching this, hey Justine, how are you? So we're sitting there, and we're just waiting, and we see like it's maybe 3:40, and they haven't like even opened up the door. So we're all debating: is it gonna happen? Are they gonna come meet their fans? Like, and then one of the Maple Music executives came out, took our names down. I was kind of surprised. They say bring your ID and bring everything else, and your receipts and your order codes. They didn't even ask that. They just had a list and your name on it. I was part of the VIP Platinum Pack, so they kind of divided us. And I was lucky enough to have Justine, my new friend, in the VIP with me. So we're waiting. We're all waiting in line to go meet the band and watch the sound check. We all hear them playing, and it's like torture to us because we're like, aren't we supposed to be there? And they're like, no. They're doing a private sound check first, and then the fan sound check comes in later. And we're all kind of like, okay. And we hear them play like Thriller, and they're practicing the songs that they knew, not like their own songs. They play like 1 or 2 of their own songs and some other covers. And then finally, Desperate Measures were playing, and I swear it was almost like a freaking music video. They allowed us to go down to the basement where we're going to meet the band and watch the sound check, because that was main level. So they're singing, playing Desperate Measures, and we're all like running, screaming the lyrics down the freaking hallway and down the stairs, and we're just like, we're right near the doors of where they're going to allow us in. So they make us wait for like 10 more minutes down there while they do a different, like finishing some different kinds of sound checks. And it was kind of sketchy to me. It felt kind of sketchy at first. I'm kind of like, are they going to let us in? Then suddenly, they started playing Toy Soldiers, like the beginning, you know how it started with that kind of like instrumental part. And then we rush inside, like they open the doors and we come bursting in there. And we run to the stage, and there they were. 4 of them, the most good-looking, most attractive, most realist boys you could ever see. We all thought Josh was in a pissy mood because he kind of had this little attitude thing going on, like he wasn't smiling or he wasn't looking like he was having a very enjoyable time meeting singing. But after like the first song of Toy Soldiers and the title across the screen, he started like opening up and having a lot more fun and giggling and laughing with the rest of us. And it was really cool because it was nice to see him smile and be in a very good mood. He was wearing, I hate it, what he wears on his head, that stupid beanie. Because originally one of the fans stole his beanies at one of the other shows, his striped red one. So he finally got a black one. Probably got it from West Ed the day earlier. And he has it on his head, and I'm just kind of like, oh my god, not the stupid beanie, not again. And then Matt is there, and he's like gorgeous, and he's like playing. And Josh is right in front of me, and he looks at me, and he keeps looking at me, and I'm like, okay, do not make eye contact with the lead singer. Beautiful blue eyes. And So after the song, we asked questions, and someone asked Josh, so what kind of cologne do you use? You smell really nice. And Josh was like, I don't use cologne. He's like, I'm allergic, or he said something along like he was allergic or something. I couldn't really care what he had to say. I was just kind of like staring them down. Some fan asked Josh, which really made my night, was, what happens if someone called you a typical pop band and to show you one song that wasn't pop on your album? And Josh said, F you, I do what I want. That's what I would tell that person. And everybody was just like cheering. One of the girls I was hanging out with actually said, you know, Josh, are you yellow? Like that kind of joke he made back in the Fix Me days and in the commercial. I'll link it down in the little description box below the video. And he didn't get it at first. Like he kind of sat there and he just didn't like process it until Mike had to say, you know, that it was a joke we did back in the day. And Josh was like, oh, and he's like, okay, now what other songs do you want to play? Everybody's screaming Fix Me songs. And Josh says, oh, no songs from the first album. But we were very lucky to have Shake Tramp, Deciding to Break It. And those were the two songs from Fix Me that they decided to play. And then he played like Toy Soldiers, and we all got to dance. And then, here's my favorite part. All the VIP, me and the rest of the group, got ushered into a room while leaving the gold sitting there. And I kind of felt very important, like I was very important and very high and very like, I'm above, but in no way am I saying I'm above any other trenchers. They're all amazing. And a lot of them couldn't afford what I got, and it broke my heart. I think everybody should be able to meet their favorite band. But I got ushered into the room with Justine and the rest of the group. And it was pretty damn rad. The room is stunning. It looked like almost like a little bar, but it wasn't, because it's not a bar area. Because some of the kids were under 18. And we wait, and they're like getting the camera ready for the photography. And I seen Emma, Josh's friend. You might know her from Back to the Future 60-second video with Amanda. I won't say much about that, but the boys come in. The other door, and they kind of are like, oh, and Josh's like, oh, are we ready? And he kind of seems kind of awkward, and I just melt. Like, I could not even like process this. It was like, holy shit, it's Josh Ramsey. They were all standing there like waving, and I'm like, oh my god, it's them. And I said, oh, they're real, they're human, they're here. Is this a dream? And everybody's like crying, and they're all getting emotional. And Josh just looks so awkward, and he's just sitting there, and he's just like, what do I do? And I was maybe like 4th, 5th in line for the picture, and the line kept moving quickly because we were all going to talk to them after the pictures. And suddenly, my turn came up. It's time for me to meet Mariana's. And I walk up to them. And Matt's like, oh, hi, and they're all like, hi, and Josh is like quiet, and I'm like, oh no, does he hate me already? And he was just quiet, I think, for everyone. He wouldn't really talk to much fans at the Edmonton show. Like, he was very to himself, where all the other girls were screaming over Matt and Mike and Ian. And Matt was standing beside Josh, and Matt's like, here, stand between me and Josh. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, loved it. And then I'm up against almost like Josh's crotch and his chest, and I'm like 5 foot. I'm not a tall person. I'm really short. So, and I'm there, and I'm up against Josh, and Ian's doing this thing with his hands, and he's making a face, and everybody's making a face, and I'm kind of like, okay, what do I do? I don't even know. So I just smiled like an idiot for the photo. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, well, thank you. I'll meet you guys in a minute. And so they all take their photos, and some girls and my friends were crying, of course. My new friend, Justine, she's like, because I just met Mariana's Trench. I would have cried, but something in me just, I didn't cry. I didn't find a reason to cry yet. And that's why I say yet. We were going to meet the band, and then they all go there, like, they all spread out, and everybody was so nervous to approach Josh first. And I decided to approach Josh. I was second in line to meet Josh. So I go up to him, and I kind of smile, and I kind of say hi, and he's like, hi. And I kind of talked to him. I had a private conversation with him, which I don't want to go into specific detail of what I told Josh Ramsey. But we talked a bit. He signed my VIP laminate. And I said, yo, Josh, can I have a hug? And Josh is like, yeah. And he puts his arm around me and he gives me this amazing, most sweetest hug I could ever ask. And at the end, I mentioned about my sick grandma, and his face falls. And he's just like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, she's pretty sick. And he's just, and I'm like, but I still came because I wanted to see you. I'm like, I had to see you. And he just seems so depressed and so sad for me. I don't think anybody would have cared the way Josh Ramsey cared. Like, even if you say he's not human, he is human, and you could tell he does have a heart. The way he consoled me. He made me feel better. And I'm like, yo, well, thank you. And then I go and meet the rest. I give Ian a hug. Ian signs my laminate. I say how much I love them and adore them. And then I go up to Matt. And last time I met Matt, Matt said, oh, I wish I played guitar in an early age. Yet I'm 18, and that's an adult. So I go up to him and I'm like, last time we met, you said I was short. And I was young for my age. And you wish you played guitar at younger age. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm 18. And he's like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm short. And I'm like, by the way, can I have a hug? Because when he was hugging people, he was kind of joking around to me like, really? Look what you did. You make everyone hug me. And he didn't mean it in a serious way, but he meant it in the kidding sort of way, like the aw darn thing, but he really didn't mean it. He loved hugging us. And I'm like, Matt, can I have a hug pretty please? And he has this smile and he's like, sure. And he gives me the biggest hug. And it was really sweet. And then I go to Mike, and I'm like, hey, Mike, and Matt signs my laminate, and I get Mike to sign my laminate too, and then I get a hug from Mike. He gives a good hug, but Josh, I find Josh's hug short. Definitely my highlight. So, and then I see Josh crowded with all these fans, and he looks kind of tired, so I go up to him, and I said, might as well say a few more words to Josh. I'm done meeting them, but I want to say one or two more things to Josh. So I go up to Josh, I'm like, hey Josh, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, you really didn't have to do this, you didn't have to meet your fans. I'm like, it's not your job, you're not guaranteed, you don't have to do this. And he rubs my arm, like caresses my arm, my jacket still smells like them. And he says, no, it's okay, I want to. And I'm just like, holy crap. And I was like mind blown. So we go. We leave. It was pretty sad afterwards. I got my merch. I got the guitar pick necklaces. They are gorgeous and they're really pretty and they go with everything I wear. And then we had to go. Like, we were the first ones to get into the arena, right? Because we're first in line and also get merch, and then we're also first into the venue. So I'm in the venue. And we're let in, and I'm on floor, so it's general admission, so there's no seats. So I wait for my friends, and we're like, why stand on the main stage, like the main part of the stage? Why not go to a catwalk? So we decided to go front and center on the catwalk, one of the catwalks, and it's on the left, Matt's side. So we're just like, okay, we'll just stand right in front of that catwalk. My friends come to join me, Bella and Julia, which, by the way, hey Julia. So we're all kind of like, I'm like, oh hey guys, and they come in because now it's time for everybody to come in. And it was really, really, really fun. Because we're all like giggling and like, oh yeah, we're right. We watched Miami, and he was really good. He was really well done. Really put into the work. Like, he knew what he was doing and he put effort into it. And Kevin was just plain awesome. And Josh comes on stage for, I don't know what song it was called, but Josh comes on for one song, and he has a drink in his hand, which I don't think it was alcohol. I don't think he was drinking. Everyone else in the arena thought he was drinking alcohol, but I don't think it was drinking. Like, he knows better than that. He was completely sober for the concert. Anybody saying he wasn't, you're nuts. He takes his job seriously. So he's partying it up with Miami. And then the lights go out. We go see Down with Webster, and they did good. Not much to say. I'm a fan. It was good. They played a few new songs. It was very interesting. And then suddenly lights go completely off. The video starts playing of Ever After. The story, the background story. And we're all watching, and then suddenly Josh comes out of the toy box and he's flying up in the air on like wires, and he's doing flips, and he's singing, and he's finally on the ground, and he's like singing, and he's playing, and Matt keeps coming to my side so I can touch his hand, and I was touching him, and I was taking pictures, and it was really great. And then Josh keeps coming to my side. See, I know the best sides to stand at concerts. I don't know why. Josh kept coming to my side more than the others. He didn't come to the right very much. He came always to my left side. And it was really nice. And for Desperate Measures, he was in his underwear. Matt, Mike, and Ian did like this little dance, and then they stripped their pants off to show them in their underwear for Desperate Measures. And then Josh comes up, and he's shaking his butt, and he's elevated, and he's walking out on the stage. And then he comes to my side by the end of the song and shakes his ass near my face. Awesome. Only one word to describe that. It was heavenly. And then they played some other songs, and they played some old songs. They played Shake Trap. They played some things off Masterpiece Theater. And they played like a lot of like new old songs in the middle. Josh comes on stage near the end of the show, and he comes near a piano. And there's a big grand white piano in front of him, and he smiles, and he's like, okay, so thanks for Edmonton for coming. And throughout the concert, he keeps on saying my city's name, like, Edmonton, are you ready, Edmonton? Or Edmonton, you're looking beautiful. And he's like, this was the highest attendance, and close to sold out. So this was their biggest show yet. He's like, this is the highest attendance and the biggest show we've ever done. It's in Edmonton. He's like, this is the biggest show. And we're like, oh yay, and we start clapping. And I by the piano, and he sings a Michael Jackson cover, Will You Be There? And it was really good. And then, this is where I bawled and cried throughout most of the show. But this time I cried really hard. It was worse than the rest of the show. I cried like during Beside You and Porcelain and all that. But after Will You Be There, all four of them came on stage and they sang a cover of And So It Goes. And I've been a fan since like 2006. And I remember the first time they performed And So It Goes was in 2007 at their Capital X tour that they did in Edmonton, where they played at, Capital X, which we called it, like, EdFest at the time. And now hearing it, like, so many years later, hearing it from their start to hearing it from where they're right now, it just made me cry. I cried throughout the whole And So It Goes. And then the final song, Josh was back on the wires, and he was singing No Place Like Home. And he's, like, flipping, and he's singing. And then at the end, the last picture on the screen is Face the Music. And then they all took a bow, and then they all went up on that little stagey thingy that's right near the screen, and they took a bow again, and it elevated them down. And that was in the Face the Music. And I got to meet Amanda. I'm not going to say exactly who she is, but if you know who Amanda McEwen is, you know. So, and who's ever hating Amanda, don't. Amanda's probably the most sweetest thing ever. I won't say her title, or whoever knows Amanda, you know Amanda. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm blabbing here, but I don't feel comfortable explaining her title or what she is, since Josh likes his personal life personal. But yeah, she is, I met her. I met Amanda, Josh's friend. And she is probably one of the sweetest people in the world. I said, hi Amanda, and she's like, hi, and she looks really awkward, and like, you're not yelling at me or like bashing me, because Trench fans have like this thing with bashing her or hating her for reasons that they shouldn't. She's a really sweet girl, and she smiles, and I'm like, how are you? And she's like, good, and I'm like, enjoy the show, and I'm like, and she's like, yeah, and I said, don't listen to what the haters think, you seem like a great person, and she gives me such a sincere smile, she's like, thank you. And she goes and hangs out with her friend Emma, who Emma was videotaping the whole show. So throughout the concert, I think the concert was probably the best night of my life. The most anticipated. It all paid off. It was so worth it. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It was the best time of my life, seriously. And I can't thank them enough. So thanks Matt, thanks Mike, thanks Josh, thanks Ian, because without you, this concert wouldn't have happened. Because of all of you, I wouldn't have the power to keep going with music, and I wouldn't be able to be inspired as I am today. You guys are beyond anything anyone could ever want. Above and beyond, that's your title, because you just outdid anything any artist could do. I can't be any more thankful for you guys for coming into the world and changing music for me. So thanks for the most amazing tour, and if I met you on the Face of Music tour, it was so awesome to meet all of you and get to know you and why you love Mariana's Trench. And whoever didn't go to the Face of Music tour, there's going to be other Canadian tours, and probably during summer. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they come back during summer. So if they do come back during summer, I hope to see you at Mariana's Trench shows to everyone. I hope to meet everyone at like a show or two, and just so I can get to know each other. It's Christmas time. It's normally, it feels like Christmas with the Trenchers when it's like a show. So yeah, have a great day, everybody, and I'm signing off.